really dumb.
Oh, you were so dumb. You was like really dumb. What's happening? What's happening? Good people. How you guys doing out there? It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha, Wright, aka no. Whoops, hold on, there we go. Whoops, sorry about that. Had too much going on back there. The Instagram was like, oh. All right, so what's happening, good people? It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha, Wright, aka Key Lolo. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Coming to you live and direct right here in Cleveland, Ohio. It's so hot, but not too hot for my red, black, and green because it was Juneteenth yesterday. And there's also, Cheryl just told me earlier this week, I didn't even know that it is also Black History Music Month, or is it Black? What is it?
Black Music Month.
Black Music Month. Okay, get me together, Cheryl. And so right over here, y'all know who it is, right? It's the one and only Cheryl Morrow, aka the Hair Oracle. And tonight it is all about beards and shaving, the lost art of shaving and beard care. We have a wonderful, intelligent barber, very good looking, so full of information, so full of talent. That's the one and only Danny Michael out of Las Vegas. So you guys better get ready to put your hands together. We're going to be bringing him in a minute. But sure, you know it's so hot here in Cleveland. I still ain't seen no Daisy Dukes though. I don't know what is happening with Cleveland. Excuse me. And well, we used to do Daisy Dukes. I don't know what's going on. But anywho, it's real hot. I do see a lot of onesies. So the girls are wearing like the onesies. The brothers is like they still wearing blue jeans. They like they ain't taking off no shirts. I'm like, what's going on, Cleveland? We ain't seeing no sexy, in San Diego, y'all be like with the skates on and the little bikini.
Oh yeah, they're out full swing.
They're in full swing out down in up in Cali or over way. Yeah. So what's happening over in San Diego?
All that other stuff that you said that Cleveland ain't got going on.
Cleveland, we ain't showing no. Usually we just be fleshy. If I was smarter, y'all, I would be out there. I would represent. But I can't, I can't do it, y'all. What's up, Lawana? How you doing out there? WK, thank you so much for coming into the chat. We are really, really excited. This is a dynamic episode. I'm really, really, really excited about this one because for one, everybody know I be crushing on Danny. So he gonna come in. I put my little lipstick on. Y'all see, look at that. Y'all like, she combed her hair and stuff. Y'all know how I be about Danny, you know what I'm saying? But no, seriously, he is just so dynamic. And I had the opportunity to hang out with him and meet him last year at the Afro Hair Science Summit. And this brother is very serious, so cool, knows his stuff. I've never seen a barber like him. I mean, barbers are usually like how barbers are more like they're like superstars to me. Like in Cleveland, they're very like they're just so they're not ostentatious, but they're a little splash and dash. I'm sorry, barbers. I'm not trying to seem like y'all were like gaudy or anything, but and they're like, they bring in sexy back.
True artists. Like that connects the barber culture to hip hop. It connected to fashion, the latest this, the latest that. Yeah.
So you kind of like know a barber when you see one. Now, Danny, on the other hand, he not like them, y'all. He what's that? Is it Kendrick Lamar? They not like us. That is him. They not like him. Okay. He is truly in a class all by him with a lonesome, and he's very fine there. And I'm telling you, if barbering is your thing, whether you are a male or a female, then tonight this one is for you. Now, I am not a barber, so I am coming full Key Lolo style, and I am from the school of cosmetologists are not barbers, so we should not be doing certain things, though I do know some cosmetologists who are barbers and vice versa. But I'm talking about them cosmetologists who know they don't have any business with them clippers in their hand. I'm just saying, I'm just going to tell the truth according to proof. So I'm gonna be Key Lolo, who does not know anything. Y'all know my alter ego is Dr. Barber, right? They ain't know that. I should have pulled up some of my videos. I'm Dr. Barber. I might try to sneak some in when I come back so y'all can see. That's my alter ego. I wish I could barber. You know, when I was about maybe like in my early 30s, my dad was going to show me how to do a fade, right? And I thought you just took the clippers and went up and you just automatically had a fade. And when my dad told me you had to work the fade, and here I go, what you talking about, Willis? I said, I ain't doing that's a lot of work. And so I truly underestimated what it takes to be a barber. So I'm going to be just real, pure and unadulterated, but you guys are going to be in for a royal treat. Cheryl, anything you want to say about Brother Danny? Because this is your friend. And so you need to kind of give a little backdrop. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna
I was, I was at the office, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got a call, said, I'm round the corner. I'm round, I want to come in. I came from Las Vegas and I want to get Dr. Morrow's books. And I want to, I said, well, why don't you just come and meet, Dr. Morrow, himself. He's there. Yeah.
Oh, you just can't be dropping that on. Cheryl be getting you like that. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Right. And he came and spent a couple of hours with us. Yeah. And he spent a couple of hours there and he did what he had to do, had a great conversation, and we just kept up with each other. See, we professionals keep up with each other down through the years, and just always kept up with each other. Always want to be great colleagues, and he kept me up what he was doing, and he is a councilmate.
Oh my gosh! Go ahead, just let it out.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which that is the history and rank of what a true statesman and a man of the tonsorial arts.
Tonsorial.
Truly.
Now we're not blowing smoke up you guys, Watusi. I just want to let you guys know that he is truly what we would call the real deal Holyfield. I mean, this is like no bars head. All right. So I know y'all like, what? Come on, bring them on in, Dodo. We got people in the chat. I see y'all. Come on in. Again, tonight, this episode is all about the lost art of shaving and beard care. This is the interview with the master barber, Danny Michael out of Las Vegas, Nevada. And so without further ado, I'm going to put a little hand claps together. Put your hands together. This Black Music Month. So we're talking about some OJ. Yeah. Your hands together. Come on, y'all. Put your little hands together. When little Trey, here comes. One more big old round. He is the one and only Danny Michael. Danny, we are super duper excited to have you join us right here on Planet Pluto Pseudo.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me. See, I told you, ladies, and oh, by the way, that is not a man unit. That is his real heart. Not knocking man unit.
Yeah, you gotta say that these days, right?
Not knocking man units. I'm just saying how y'all be talking about our weeds. Okay, is it real? But that is his real her. Okay, and so thank you so very very much. I'm really excited and honored to have you here on the platform as a cosmetologist. I have so much respect for barbers because I didn't know when I entered the field as a cosmetologist that barbers were before us, because I was of the mindset that if it wasn't for us there would be no barbers. And so my little ego, and I was a little I was a little hating, Cheryl, like well, if you say so. But anywho, so and now that I know that, I have a total different outlook, and I have a newfound respect and appreciation for barbers. So I'm really, really excited because I think I still think there's a divide between the barbers and cosmetologists, and hopefully we'll get a little bit of that out of the air so we can see why are we not as close as we should be. And I do have my thoughts around that. So again, I'm really, really excited. So what I would like for you to do is, Danny, tell us a little bit about who you are as a master barber. And again, the topic tonight, in case you guys are just kind of creeping through, I see the numbers are kind of crawling on up here. Again, it's about the lost art of shaving and beard care. And this is the interview with the master barber, Danny Michael, and he is out of Las Vegas, Nevada. And so you are in for a royal treat. If shaving and barbering is your thing, then this is definitely the podcast for you. So Danny, tell us a little bit about who you are as a master barber, because I want to know what's the difference between a master barber and a regular barber, and then just how you got into it, all that good stuff.
First of all, the term master barber is kind of, people use it in different ways in different places. I first became licensed in Georgia, in Atlanta. So automatically, when you become a licensed barber, it's called a master barber in that state. I'm in Nevada now, so when I become the top level of what your licensing can be, it's called a registered barber. So just like actually in a barber shop, most things that people say in terms of this type of haircut that they want, the terminology that they use, a lot of that stuff is regional. So, Dr. Morrow and Cheryl, they, when they use the term master barber, they were talking about who you are and what you are past the chair in terms of how you impact society, from, being an innovator, an inventor, and just the actual Renaissance man through barbering. So in that sense, I still feel like I have a lot of room to grow. But on paper, my license says master barber. In terms of how I got into it, go ahead. In terms of how I got into barbering in my past, I was born in Toledo, Ohio, and we moved to Rochester, New York when I was a child, when I was a baby. So growing up in Rochester, as a Black man, barbershops is part of your life. A lot of other cultures, a lot of the other races, it's kind of optional. Like with us, it's more of an institution. If we don't have anything else, even when you talk about going back to slavery and what have you, a lot of things was taken from Black people, but the barber was something that never left us. So even sometimes with the religious differences and whatnot, a Black man, generally speaking, always had a barber to go talk to. And so that took the place of a lot of other things in our lives. So growing up in Rochester, going to the barbershop was just part of growing up. My father cut my hair up until I was probably about 4 or 5 years old, maybe a little bit older. And then we started going to barbershops. And my father was always an independent Black businessman. So he always was moving around and making a way. So he knew other Black men who were into business as well. And he always was. So we went to originally Mr. Glover, I think, might have been one of my first professional barbers. He went to church with my parents, with us. And, I learned a lot just by osmosis, by being around older Black men through the barbershop. And because they were my father's associates, the different barbers I went to growing up, I kind of was being watched. So I couldn't just be in there being wild. So I had to take on a certain kind of fact about myself that, I was almost like being checkmated. So you sit in the corner till it's your turn. If my father had to leave, he's going to get reported to when he gets back. So I used to just sit in the barbershop and watch for years. And I watched how people moved around. I watched how, at one point we used to go to a barbershop in Rochester called, it was Hill. It was Mr. Hill's barbershop. I think his name is Billy Hill. But it was on a street called Genesee. And there was a lot of street activity on Genesee, but you never saw it in the shop. I never heard him yell at people. I never heard him curse people out. There was a sign on the wall that said Black is beautiful. And there was a sign on the wall that said no profanity and, things of that nature. So I saw a certain kind of order. I saw chaos come to order through barbershops. And so that always stuck with me. And even when I wasn't actually trying to be a barber, it was always this kind of air of respect and a certain kind of freedom, even in the midst of the madness of society that I saw the barbers kind of carry themselves with, a certain kind of poise that was natural. It wasn't like they were trying to act important, and they had this leveled ability to talk to people who seem to be higher in society and people who seem to be lower in society. So I just respected that, and I think I took on those characteristics before I actually picked up clippers.
Wow. While you are saying some very I don't know about you guys, but this is pretty profound, and I'm feeling kind of a little jealous because I don't know that. Now I don't have a rich history in a hair salon like you and Cheryl, but I don't know that a hair salon commands that type of a decorum or thought processes, if you will. And that because it's very superficial, in a hair salon. It's extremely superficial. Now, but you're talking about a whole lot more with your language about being, from beyond the chair. Also, just order, So that's very, very interesting that you saw this at a very early age. Now, did that influence you to become a barber, or is it like, yeah, I just kind of fell into it, or I had to cut my nephew's hair or something like that?
I think it influenced me subconsciously. I wasn't looking for it, but even like back in the 80s, I liked hip hop a lot, so I always wanted my hair cut like the rappers. And so I still had a household that had certain kind of rules and structure to it. So I couldn't get an S curl, I couldn't do certain things. So I liked I liked Big Daddy Kane. So I wanted, certain kind of parts in the front. And so within the rules of what my father would allow, what my mother would allow, and if we agreed on a certain haircut, my father would say, look, he always handed me paper, whether we was in church or somewhere I was falling asleep. He would say, write this down, draw this, to express myself, so I didn't have to try to use so many words. So when I wanted all these hip hop type of haircuts, my dad would say, draw a man and draw his hair. You know what I'm saying? Draw his head, draw the front, draw the back, draw the left side and the right side. He give me a piece of paper and a pencil. So I used to go to the barbershop, because back in the day, you really didn't make appointments in black barbershops like that. So we get there Saturday morning when they open the shop up. At this time, we was going to Mr. Hill's barbershop. So we would be there when he unlocked the door. He goes in, turns on the coffee and the hot chocolate, and we sit down while they turn the TVs on, put the football games, basketball, whatever. And I would sit down there and draw my haircut how I wanted it, from in my mind. And I did that plenty of times, and it just became how I looked at my hair. And I wasn't that like in the mirror kind of dude growing up, but I know when I want something, I want it like this. And then once we get it like that, all right, we done with it. But I wasn't going to be like pretty boy, like always checking myself.
You weren't going to be Pretty Ricky Fontaine? Damn.
No, I couldn't be Pretty Ricky growing up. That's not a safe place for us.
Okay, no Pretty Ricky Fontaine. All right. Well, I'll tell you what things for certain and two things for sure. According to the chat, you have a beautiful afro.
Yes,
so you don't have to be Pretty Ricky Fontaine over here, but the afro I told y'all is Flamalama, Sham Shamalama. All right. So now we have a wonderful backdrop into the gentleman. He is definitely distinguished. Now, when I say this, guys, I don't want you to really think that I think that barbers are just scruffy, hood. Because I know some barbers that are definitely, on their A game, and they have their own swag. But there is something special to me about Danny, in as much that he seems to have this very unique way of it's like a Sankofa barber. Am I making any sense, Cheryl?
Absolutely.
Are you so can you speak to that before we get into these reels? Because I think that something about the history and our role as African Americans in barbering is not exalted. And I'm not saying that we just got to stay in the past, like don't you just old. No, I'm not saying that. But he has that Sankofa-esque, to his skill and the art and moving forward. So Cheryl, can you speak to that? And then we're going to get into some reels and get into our episode about the lost art of shaving and beard care, the interview with the one and only master barber, Danny Michael.
I do. I think we remember you and I discussing. We were talking. Could have been on a podcast or something. But when you say when we were talking about books, read books. He looks like a learned artesian. He looks learned, and he looks like he just doesn't just want doing it as a career. Like he's just doing it for money. And the feel you get from him, of course, he's got that kind of West African Afro shape there, and it kind of goes down into his beard, and he's got that bone structure, and so he's got a lot of tradition going on. And I think that once you get in his energy field, you know that you're not going to just get the cut. You're going to get a lot of the conversation. So he's carrying a lot of the barber traditions from West Africa.
Wow.
Into the Americas, and he's studied. I mean, we've talked about it many times. And so when that gets in your blood and that gets into your energy, that is what people know that they're going to get a real structured, very structured service.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I want you guys to know, this particular platform is specifically for the licensed professionals and our hair aficionados. And so this type of content is really, really, really important, because I think that barbering, it definitely today it leans towards, like, it's got the hustle, and the muscle and the machismo. It's starting to let women in. It definitely, is open to the LGBTQ community. The cosmetology industry has always been that way, to my knowledge. And I'm not saying barbering hasn't, but because I'm relatively new, with 25 years, some people got like 50 years. So anywho, so in my eyes, it looks really new. But again, I find that having Danny on is really, really good for those of us who are in the industry, who are seeking to serve our customers on a different level. And then we have customers in the chat, so you guys can get an opportunity to see the very multitude, all the myriads and all those plethoras, all those words of many sides of barbering. So Danny is just, of course, one of many of those sides. But we're going to get a little funny here. And we have these reels here, right, Danny? And so the first one is not going to be about barbering, but this one, reel as in REEL, is about combing hair. And so Cheryl, her dad has his own comb and all this. And I thought this would be real cool for Cheryl, and she might like this one. So everybody in the chat, you guys get ready, because this reel is about a real comb. We're going to light things up and just see what does Cheryl think about this real comb with a real hairstyle. Get ready, Danny. This is going to be very interesting. Fresh off of TikTok. A real comb out.
New hairstyle by Vicky Fashion. Ladies, will you rock this? Check out the new hairstyle by Vicky Fashion. Ladies, will you rock this?
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Cheryl, come on now, dog. What y'all think, chat? Who would rock Vicky Face on? Not Cheryl. Now, see, you talk about innovative, very unique. I think your dad would be like, it can happen. And I mean, that was it was like a maze. I mean, that was out of Africa too, by the way. Cheryl, like, let us stay in Africa. She gives us a thumbs up. All right, chat. What do you guys think? What did you thought? Did you think that was kind of unique, Danny? I mean, that was some the way she took that comb and just, I don't know, was that gel or She had the sprints and that she was going, you know, it reminded me of, remember the pineapple waves? Anybody remember the pineapple waves? If you remember the pineapple waves, put a yes in the chat where you would put the fishnet on top of the head and you would
and
kind of pull it through. Yeah, and yeah. It kind of reminds me of that. Now I'm with you, VK. I don't know what's gonna happen when she goes to bed. But for right then and there, that was pretty interesting. So the comb and all that just kind of, I thought that was really funny. Now, Danny, this one, I had to get one for you because you're the barber. I'm not understanding this, but apparently, ladies and gentlemen, this is the new thing for men and women who have a difficult time growing their hair. And this one, Danny, is for you. It is called a real tattoo. Here we go, guys. You're going to love this one. Danny, I want to know your thoughts. Here we go. A real tattoo. Wow.
Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm just gonna listen. Let me put my microphone on, Danny, before you say something. I'm just gonna. I think Sweet Brown said it best. Hold on, Danny. That's my thoughts.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I'm just
Obviously, he does.
I mean, $3,500. I mean, if a tattoo artist is like, Kilolo, get off the. Danny, is this the thing? Are you familiar with this scalp tattoo? Or
yeah, people do that. I have a few clients that have it's SMP, scalp micropigmentation.
Scalp
So
micro. Okay, knowledge us up.
Yeah, so I mean, as the hair grows back in, he can. I guess the haircut's kind of optional because it's just a tattoo shading so that it doesn't look like he's totally bald. Like, Doc Rivers, the basketball coach, he has that.
So I don't know
who
who
just
that
shave
is.
the hair down. And
I knew he did. Because he was balding before he even stopped playing.
Okay, what they say, don't cook it up. Look it up. His name is DOC as in Doc Rivers.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Rivers.
I am truly a.
Is he still a basketball coach here in California?
I think so. I think he coached this year. He's coaching the Clippers.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just found a picture of him. All right, so it's called. Say it again. SPM.
SMP.
SMP. So I'm making a joke out of it, but apparently this is a very for real service. And here he is. His name is Doc Rivers, and he has it on his head. And wow,
it always looks like that.
Wow. Okay. Now I just have one question because Kilolo, right? I'm just real Getrin, right? I'm just gonna pull it up a little bit, y'all. I just want to know. Okay, I'm just saying, So like when he get old, how your head, your head shape. I'm sorry, Cheryl. I'm just, So do you like what happens like as you mature? Like, do you want to be 90? Like with this song? And I don't have any tattoos, so I know I'm sounding really, persnickety. But so how does this fade away after a while? Danny?
I mean, it lightens up, but it doesn't disappear.
Oh.
It doesn't disappear. It'll lighten up a little bit, but it's within the framework of where his hair would grow. So if let's say you are 90 or 100 years old and you just kind of letting yourself go, it's not noticeable because it doesn't conflict with the way that your hair is structured. I mean, just in terms of appearance.
Oh, because I'm looking at like fake boobs. Okay, thank you. Because I'm very superficial. I'm just being Kilolo. Okay, so if you are a male or female and you're interested in getting SMP scalp micro pigmentation, Danny says this is is this the cost? Is that $3,500? Is that the going price?
I mean, it sounds normal. I don't, it's not really my field, but yeah, it sounds
okay. So don't go to the tattoo artist thinking you're just going to give him $500. So you're going to shell out some money. And he says, as you mature, this is going to complement you as you age, because it's the way they do this. It's not like they're just going to put this on your head. I just thought it was very interesting. I thought it was a joke, but apparently it's real.
So let me ask you guys a question. So where does the dye go? You're not going to be looking for scalp cancer?
And you know what? You bad. Yeah, but we gonna put the
No, I'm just saying. They I mean, come on now. They're gonna vilify. They don't vilify the brothers. Come on now. They don't vilify. See, they don't ever do that to men's products.
That's true. That is very true. Because you're right. Because women, when we put color in our hair, they always say anywho. But yes, Cheryl, that is a very good point. All right. So what's good for the geese is good for the gander. So men can definitely, and women can do this as well. And it's called SMP, and it's called scalp micro pigmentation. And Danny says, go for what you know, though it's not his thing. You're more than welcome to go ahead on and give it a try. And I'm sure, I don't want to say any tattoo artist could do it. But for sure, this is their area of expertise, that you guys want to go ahead on and check that out. Okay. All right. So they said they don't, in the chat, it's like, the verdict is still out. I'm with you guys. If I rather you just be bald, you know what I'm saying? It don't make me no difference if you got 2 strands of hair up there. You can be George Jefferson, I don't care, Cheryl, does it matter to you if a man guy has?
Well, no, I mean, hey, it's all cosmetic expression, and then if they can create that's more artistic, I think, than barbering. That's not barbering. No.
That's not barbering. Okay, so whatever makes your boat float, that is not for us to say, but go for it. Danny says, hey, it's very popular, so go ahead on and check it out if that's your thing. And Doc Rivers has it if you want to see someone who has it in real time. All right. Okay, so let's hop into this topic here about the lost art of shaving and beard care. Now, remember, Danny, I don't go to the barber shop, but there's a barber shop directly next door to the hair salon. And I saw your videos on shaving, okay? And I see what happens in a lot of barbershops. I go into a lot of barbershops. Now, your shaving experience is different than what I see in most barbershops. And most barbershops have it's got like a homeboy, even the upscale ones, it still has a little homeboy-esque to it. Unlike yours, it's a little bit different. We have gentlemen who come to the hair salon, and they tell us, they ask us, can we shave them? And we're to me, I don't know in other states, but in Ohio, cosmetologists are not allowed to do any shaving. I don't know, like you said, each state is different. So we're not allowed to do any shaving, but they say to us in the hair salon that they don't like going to the barbershop to get the shaving because they're concerned of the sanitation. So let's start right there. What is it? And I don't know that barbers are capturing what a shave does to the haircut. So can we just start there? Is the shaving, the beard, is all that a part of the haircut, or is it solely tighten me up and line me up and just I'll take care of my own beard? I don't like no man all up in my face.
You mean for me? Is that what I experienced? Or you saying is that?
Yeah, I mean, let's just start right there. Why is beard care so integral part? Should it be separate, a la carte? Let's give the audience a full understanding as speaking from one professional barber to another. Is it optional, or do you think it should be a part of that service? Or I don't see a lot of men getting beard care in barbershops. I'm just going to tell you, I don't. I see them getting it lined up, but I don't see the care like what you do.
Well, I won't say it should be a la carte or it should be optional. everybody handles things how they do, because and it's about the client. So some of them have issues, some of them have had past experiences where they don't want to allow somebody to work on their beard. But I mean, as a trend inside of an industry, I think part of it is that we've allowed the pace of the society to dictate our pace. So life moves so fast now that the barbershop is moving just as fast. And a lot of the things that you get in the shop traditionally, it was a change of pace from your everyday life. So I know a lot of barbers around the country who actually do beard care, even more intense beard care than what I do. They have whole packages for $100, $200 or more, where they're just conditioning your beard and working on it and everything, blow drying and all that. But I think it is in the minority in terms of barbers. But I get it why people don't like a lot of the experiences. That's part of the thing that drove me, was that, again, as a child, my father was always moving. He's always hustling. And only time I ever saw him sit down and just be still without actually reading a book or going to sleep or something was in the barber chair. Mr. Hill would lay him back and shave him. And I'm just watching he's awake, but he's just sitting there and letting this man shave him. And it's just this kind of, it was just a spirit to it that I was always very observant, so I watched everything and everybody. And when I saw that, it was I don't see that in the course of months go by, and I don't see adults zone in on an actual stillness and a mindfulness practice, as they call it nowadays. So to me, the shave for me is a mindfulness practice. I don't usually tell people that. Sometimes I do, but people have psychological issues these days. People are neurotic. People are very on edge, and nobody wants to admit that they have issues. People's nerves are frayed. So when somebody comes in, if they ask me for a shave, I'm automatically kind of shifting my vibe so that they can go into a zone. That's why I had to kind of leave a lot of the barbershops that I actually worked in over the years, because I saw people in the chair trying to get a shave, and then the guys almost they get louder. And I know this person has, a mind that can appreciate that time and that care, but the environment, it wasn't always allowing for that. So I think that's part of it. The sanitation is definitely a part of it, but the sanitation and all that comes with taking your time. So if everybody's cutting on volume and you trying to get 1,000 haircuts a day, you're going to cut as many corners as possible, because it's all about how much money you're going to walk away with. But if you charge more money and put more quality into it, you wouldn't have to cut 1,000 heads a day to get the same dollar amount. But then you have to bring some value and not just a deal or a bargain.
Now, Cheryl, your dad, is famous for his, his barbering skills, and he also definitely had the, the celebrity clientele. So, is what Danny talking about? Was your father's barbering service on that I don't want to say echelon, on that scale? Was that primarily for celebrity or well-to-do customers, or is it for the everyday? And then Danny, I want you to talk about your clientele too, and then we're going to get into the lost art. So Cheryl, was that only for his elite, or did he have something special for the well-to-do and the
I think that the culture, or the quality of the culture that brings in that particular client, they are looking for just a reprieve, maybe an hour of reprieve from their being a lawyer or being a cop or being a engineer or whatever work environment that they're in, businessmen, or just sometimes detectives, or just regular, or of course, obviously preachers and other types of women and who wore the Afro and nice cuts. It's the quality of your culture, I think, that automatically knows, and we talked about this on Mondays, that is going to let a person know. I'm gonna probably play a good penny here because he's offering me some other set of state of mind. And so when he lays me back, I'm going to be in this zone. And I think the two just meet, but you have to be concerned about not the volume of cuts, because of course, if you cut corners, you're cutting your dollar. And I don't think that they think about that.
Right.
And so, but Mr. Morrow had so many, he had his own kind of swag. He had his own capes, his own, you know what I mean? He had his own products. He had a whole new, unique way of servicing it. And plus, he had a military dollar there too. So he was doing military brass, high echelon ranks, and lieutenant.
Oh, okay. But he didn't differentiate if rather a celebrity or a military or a detective or a dad. You know, they all were able to get that type of a service that Danny is talking about.
Yeah, I was at the San Diego History Museum because we had a project called Missing Pieces. And so when I was talking about that, and they would talk about Mr. Morrow treated me as if I was the general that hired him. You know what I mean? The generals that hired him. And he also did just, you know, he did a plethora of different races of people, but it was the culture that Mr. Morrow wanted to set the standard. He never talked about money. He didn't have any prices on the wall. He didn't have any of that. The service and the way you tipped them and the music. And it's just it's a cultural thing. I think it's
no prices on the wall. Okay, this is getting kind of thick. All right. Now I'm just gonna say this before you get into the first video. And we have some ladies in the chat, and I know we got some ladies watching and some men too. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I don't understand why. I mean, if I'm dating a guy, I'm just gonna tell you the truth. You better get the whole thing done. I don't, you know, why would you go to a barbershop and just get your hair cut? I want my significant other or my sugar daddy or whoever, you know, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying daddy, you know what I'm saying? I want my man like Danny, you know, he got to be clean from the root to the tootum. Don't just spend your money like you just all the money you have. So ladies in the chat, or if you want to come on in and enter into the conversation. Now, this is not a professional. This is just some we got, you know, I'm just, you know, trying to, you know, make light of it. But would you prefer your fella, we just going to say fella, it could be your husband, whatever you want to call him. Would you want him to go to the barbershop just to get his hair cut? Or do you want him to get all of the accoutrements? I don't care what it would cost. He needs to get all of that taken care of. And so I'm attracted to a man who's going to go to the barbershop and get all of it done. And that's just how I am. So ladies, what ye say in the chat? Should he just get his hair cut, or should he allow Danny and the likes of a Dr. Morrow to take care of him from literally from head, let's say, to the underneath the chin and on both sides of the cheeks? Okay, so that's just my personal take on it. So now let's get into the lost art of beard and shaving. And so you guys go ahead and drop your answer in the chat. How do you want your fella to have his hair and beard taken care of? And men, you know, you can drop your 2 cents in the chat too. Y'all might say, I don't care, Ladosha, I just want my hair cut. I ain't thinking about you. You ain't none of my girlfriend. All right, so here's the standard beard care. Here's I just went on YouTube and just grabbed some stuff. Here you go, Danny.
Okay, so I just got out the shower and I'm making sure that my beard is not completely dry, but it's damp, okay? Next thing I'm going to do is reach for that beard oil, put some in my palm, make sure I rub it around throughout my fingers. Next thing I'm going to do is apply it directly on the skin beneath the beard. I'm going to go all around my face and do that. Next thing I'm going to do is reach for my comb. Whatever oil's left, I'm going to spread it out through my hair with the comb. But here's where the magic happens for nighttime care. I'm going for my beard butter, all right? Products like this have stuff like shea butter, cocoa butter, mango butter, things that will nourish and condition my beard throughout the night. So when I wake up with a nice feeling beard, nice and soft. And that's how you take care of your beard.
All right, Danny. I'm not a beard girl. That's too much beard. I'm off of the Danny beard. That's about as much beard as I'm gonna get. But I understand ZZ Top says every girl crazy about a short dress man. All right. So Danny, is that good beard care? Let's start right there before we get to the shaving. Is that good beard care?
I mean, I would say it's a good start. I mean, I think to me, one of the things that I believe is that the attention is the primary thing that causes results. So the fact that he's taking time and paying attention to his beard is gonna have an effect because it's the intangible part of yourself is what moves things. So he's putting intention into actually having a healthy beard on his face.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, what about all the steps with the oils and the? I mean, he ain't used no soap. I'm being petty, but I'm like, you ain't gonna put no soap on there. Am I out of order? Just help me out, Daddy, because I'm like, bro, you did not wash that beard. So I'm sure he did. But I'm just.
Yeah, because I mean, he said it was damp, so I was assuming he already he did that. But I don't know. It would be ideal to clean it out. You can shampoo it, or you can use.
You can use shampoo. I don't know anything about beard care. When the guys that come, we do like the locks, and I have some men that I help with the hair growth, and I don't touch the beard. Okay, I'm just like
low. Come on now.
No, I don't want to. I'm not a barber. Do you think cosmetologists? Okay, ladies, should cosmetologists be touching the beard? We're not supposed to touch the beard.
You're not supposed to shave it.
Oh, duh.
They might like if you some of those services. I mean, like they probably would like it if a woman did it better. So you can shampoo and condition the beard. Like Cheryl talks about actually getting into instead of the scalp, you're dealing with the face. And a lot of guys, down the skin underneath the beard is just neglected.
Wow.
So you might not. I don't know if you feel about touching it, but it needs some care usually. And so those kind of services will be.
You want to add some more to that? So, okay, licensed people. I said I don't touch the beard. Danny says Ladosha. You could. Men would more than likely really appreciate that. But now talk about this under the skin that we don't know what lies beneath that Danny's talking about. What is going on with that skin that clearly hairstylists like me I'm overlooking because they're like, I'm like, I ain't touching your beard, going to your barber.
You still can exfoliate it, because the facial skin proliferates very quickly. Day by day, night by night, you do have a lot of skin there. But I think what they're trying to basically do is focus on the quality of the hair and trying to make sure that they can kind of retain some moisture and maybe it be not so, wiry, and they want to make it soft. But usually the softer, the straighter and wavier it is, it does get softer. But I don't know about going to bed with oil. And let me just say this. He just went through the hair. He didn't even focus on the scalp. But it's almost like when you brush a dog. You have a top layer, which is one hair. And then you have a second layer. The second layer is what sheds. Right? And so that was my father's issue in dealing with the brushing. So you get all of the skin and you get the pores involved and you move the skin and you move it away and out of the beard. But, beard care is hair focused, not skin focused.
So, Danny, what's the biggest mistake that you see that men make when it comes to their beard care?
The way they shave. Most men are like learn how to shave from watching TV. And it's not really learning, it's just imitating. So when you watch movies, they just
so they're copying what they see.
YouTube or just TV shows or reality shows?
I'm talking about YouTube. Ladosha, you muted. But yeah, TV shows, movies, because it's like your mic's off, Ladosha. but like just watching TV over the years, you can watch anything from any kind of movie, any kind of TV show. There's always a segment with a man shaving in the bathroom real fast, and it's just most men think that they already know because they've seen something, but you didn't really know what you were looking at.
Kind of like watching porno, thinking they can know how to do something. You know, I'm just being bad tonight, y'all. Daddy said that's not how you do that, man. You cannot watch a video, a commercial, and learn how to shave. That is not how it's done. So here is a video. That's a gentleman is telling you a couple of do's and don'ts about shaving. We got some beard care, and now you guys got to understand it's what lies beneath. It's what's really important. Before you get to the hair, they want you to focus on the actual skin care, and then you can go into grooming the beard. So now we're going to go into shaving it, because Danny says that's probably the biggest mistake that he sees that men are making with their beard care. So let's hear what this gentleman has to say about I just took a couple of points that he made about shaving.
So with that said, let me start by identifying the 5 key things that you need to tailor as a black person or a person with sensitive skin to avoid and stop getting ingrowing hairs. The first thing I identified was, as a black person, I should not be using a multi-bladed razor. The second thing I identified that can cause ingrown hairs and razor bumps for a black person is the direction in which you shave.
All right. So now this I did not know. He keeps saying a black person. Now the name of this podcast is the Afro Hair Science, YouTube channel. So what is it? I mean, is there something different about black skin or / beard care from other people? Because that's what made me record that. And I'm saying, why he keeps saying black? Because I'm thinking like black man, white man skin. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a barber, but can you expound on that? And then let's talk about some steps. And then Cheryl, I want your 2 cents on that as well. So what's the big difference? Should he have said that? Because I didn't get that at all.
Yeah, because black men's hair, the coil is so tight that when it comes out of the skin, there's a different type of dynamic taking place than if somebody has straight hair. So like, as the hair is growing out of the skin, it can easily go back into the skin, which will cause ingrown hairs, and it could easily become irritated because of the nature of how the actual follicle is shaped and the way that the hair comes out. So like what he's saying, like, don't use multiple blade cartridges. Like when you go over your face, let's just say you go one time, one stroke. If the cartridge has 5 blades in it, you just went 5 times with one stroke. So it's like you already have like a propensity for ingrowns and what have you. So you're using somebody else's physiology as though it's universal. And then you're not really paying attention to what you have. You're paying attention to what you saw on TV. Again, so you just imitating stuff. So
all right,
now the other point that
we're going to talk about this. He was saying the direction. So Cheryl, what is it about? Now Danny is saying that I guess black people, because everybody, I know you're not saying all black people's hair grows back into their skin, but kind of talk about this. Now, it may be common for you guys out here, but remember, this is Planet Pluto Pseudo, and the goal, again, is to just kind of debunk a lot of myths that we may think is taking place about things in the world of barbering and beauty and nails and all that good stuff and aesthetics. So Cheryl, add a little bit more to what Danny is talking about people of color with their beard and all this, because I know this was your dad's area of expertise. It was so good. Hell, the military said, call up Dr. Morrow, because they up here, they ain't gonna fight our war. So just give a little bit more. Why the difference in black skin?
Yeah. Well, racially, I think just in terms of the dominance of dark skin, most times, besides East Africans, command a very coiled hair strand. There's a lot of turns. The problem is that when you pull it, it is flat. It's almost like if you had a tube and you went across it with scissors, you can't twist a tube. You will malshape it. When you take a flat ribbon, it'll coil. If you put scissors around it, that's because the nature of a coil, it has to be flat. But when it's flat, it has a back, a side, a front and back, side, and a left side and right side, and then it has a top, right? And so once it grounds back up, if the barber is not cognizant of combing it and trying to stretch it, and that was one of the reasons why Mr. Morrow said brush the beard, so you can at least get the strand to lay on top of each other. But Afrocentric people or African descending people, Cubans, Latinos, right? People who are usually south of the equator are going to have very coily types. And if you don't, and most of those blades that he was talking about and Danny was alluding to, is that they're at an angle, they're at a downward angle. So when you pull the skin and you're going, you could get and slice some of those hair strands and not getting them all completely at the root. And then by the time they are, if that's a lazy client or a lazy barber, they won't see him until, or he'll take matters into his own hands. These will go in one direction, and these in the cheek area will be going another direction. And the barber has not properly even taught him. But it's a technical thing that barbers have to pay attention to.
Okay, so Danny,
it's not a, well, what do they call it, Danny? It's not that their skin is different. It's the hair is coily. And so
right, and I see Theo is talking about the epidermis. So now we're going to get into the art. The gentleman there talked about the direction, and I'm not saying that this means art. Okay, I don't want that. You don't get me now. Okay, so I'm going to play a clip, and now I want you to really get into what are black men or men who have this texture. I shouldn't say black. When this comes to shaving, that's really messing up their skin. So now, to me, this is going to get into the art. So here we go, Danny. Let me just show you this video.
You shave a hair. You expect it to grow back normally. But occasionally, as the hair grows, it will actually curl back into the skin. This leads to what's known as an ingrown hair. Now, most people think you're just supposed to pluck these out, but that will actually just irritate the area more. If possible, you should guide the tip of the hair in the right direction so it continues to grow.
All right. So is this what you mean by the lost art? Is that a good example? If not, tell us, what is the art, the direction, all of this that is so important about shaving? Because I see a lot of people, I know some brothers that just walk around and they don't even have, I'm like, good Lord, what you doing? I don't mess around with the shit, I'm just saying. But anyhow, go ahead. I know it's not like shaving legs. I don't want to go there.
Yeah, but I think it's definitely a part of what's lost because everything is done in a rush. And so it's all about being the quickest version of something. So that's something that I want to get deeper into, is actually being of greater service, because we do still have a lot of skin issues. I was showing Ladosha this earlier, Cheryl. I never got a chance to get it sunburned, but yeah, I bought that like.
I thought you were opening that book. Yeah, that's very vintage, man. You better hold on.
Oh, we got to put that big round of applause for that one right there. Can you hold that up again? You can't find this on Amazon. Here you go, guys. Check it out.
Oh my goodness.
The Principles of Cutting and Styling Negro Hair. That's pretty dope. So is this where the lost art is? So let's get into the lost art. What do you mean by that? Whoops.
To me, it's the science part of it and it's the art part of it, but there's also a human connection part of it too. And I think that a lot of that is lost, and as insignificant as it might seem to people, barbers and beauticians have a finger on the pulse of society, because you get to hear what people really are thinking about, what people are really going through. And so getting a shave is not just taking hair off of somebody's face. Plus the care that goes into it, even with you can see with children sometimes. Sometimes children bring you problems just because they want some attention. They want somebody to care about them. So they'll sometimes create problems just even to get yelled at. Sometimes it's better than you not paying any attention to me. And so I think that dynamic is something that's central to being a human being. And everybody likes to act like they don't need anybody. But in my experience, in my observation, part of being a barber is giving somebody a chance to be human. Because everywhere else you go, it's all about your turnout. What can you produce? You know what I'm saying? So when you come to a shop, a barbershop, beauty salon, you just get to be a person. Whatever that person is. And so, but that part of it is scientific and artistic too, and actually getting down to figuring out what's causing these skin irritations on people and actually giving them information to prevent it and also how to heal it or how to help correct it rather is important. And I think that that's something that a lot of us as barbers have avoided because it's not the easiest thing, because the topical part, the cosmetic part, the surface part is always easiest. So if I can just jump on YouTube and catch the wave of the newest trends, nobody's going to question me because they're going to think I'm the best because I'm up on the trends. But my intent was always to get to the core and the root of what it is that I'm doing. Like, what does it really mean to be a barber? What, for the last however many thousands of years, like, to encapsulate that time period, what is it all about? It can't be about giving the nicest fade. So there's something else going on with humanity that a barber has been central to, and that's been something that I've, been interested in. So the shaving part of it is it's lost to a degree. There are, a good amount of people that I've seen around the world that still hold it up, but I don't think that it's being represented in a way that it could show how it benefits people more. People need some personal time.
Right. So let me show you some pictures of some common skin things. I see this, in real life. So here is, I don't know, Cheryl, can you see it as well?
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's talk about some shaving lost art. What art has this person lost that would contribute to this? And what you say that could help?
Danny?
Me or Cheryl?
You, Danny.
Well,
where's the art lost? What happened?
Well, he ignored a lot of signs early on, and he kept going over them. He probably used a lot of alcohol in his face. He definitely is shaving too close, I would assume. His face is burnt. His skin is damaged, and he's probably got a real thick layer of hardened tissue over the surface of his skin. And so it's probably even a deeper issue that's going on, but the person just keeps on shaving. I mean, he needs to see somebody and get some actual professional help on that. I don't think the average barber or even the 1% of the barbers are actually going to have solutions. I personally, would recommend some skin treatments, but I would also recommend he go see somebody.
And Cheryl, how would your dad, or what do you see? I still see this. Today we're talking about the lost art. So here is a gentleman who's probably has done what Danny has talked about, which is saw some, on TV, where just taking the razor over and over on the skin and not realizing. I didn't even know that was a burn. So I've learned something new myself. But Cheryl, what do you see in the lost art of this beard care? Because his mustache looks very much on point. But something about the beard, he lost the art. So Cheryl, what do you see?
Well, he's a mustache wearer. So the barber or himself never touched his lip, right? And plus, all hairs are going in the same direction on your lip as it goes down to your goatee. But that skin is cooked, which means it has been exposed to pHs that were too acidic, because there's some redness right on that jawbone.
Wow, you can see that?
Yeah, there's some redness there. Anyway, and then you have the scar tissue, which Danny is correct. That is a long time coming. And that is one of the things about, and then you have some bumping. But I wanted just to say that Black men, their hair, their ingrown hairs comes above the skin, and then they go back in. Usually, the rest of when the hairs get straighter and it gets more either to your lighter races, Latinos, and then Europeans, they wound, and then by the time you take them out, the hair is straight. That's a slight different than what African American men who have high coil counts to their hair strands. They actually do come out and then they go back in. So you see these little straight, and then it'll sit right in, and then it'll create a crevice, what we call enlarged pores. So because they'll lay there. And that is one of the reasons why when Dr. Morrow went into, he always accompanied, you must exercise the mouth of the open follicle. You have to exercise.
I think that's what Theo was talking about. I'm not quite sure if he's still in the chat, but maybe that's what I don't know, guys. I'm not a barber, so he said something about the epidermis or something.
The circulation and the movement of that particular layer has to move. It has to stretch. You have fascia. You have connective tissue. You have a subcutaneous level. All of that blood, and then of course, what did the immune system do? It created a hard, dark scar tissue. That's wound healing. So you gotta, by the time that happens, now your immune system is involved, because now it's in the way, because it's detecting an injury. And so now he's at the chemical peel stage.
So can I just interrupt here? Danny, what could a barber say to this young man who doesn't want to, because Cheryl noticed something that I didn't, that he's a mustache wearer. So when do barbers notice, here's a guy who doesn't want to rock the beard. He wants to just have the mustache. What is a barber to say to a guy that's like, Danny, I can't do you. I just want all that clean. But, at what age and where's the art in talking to a young man about his options to not have the beard?
Say that again. You saying so? Like if that man was
because he's older now, and I'm saying this topic is all about the lost art of shaving. At some point earlier in his life, maybe he didn't have a dad, or maybe his dad, like you said earlier, that a lot of this is because nobody has that book. Hold the book up again that Dr. Morrow has. So a lot of men, African American men, may not know the principles of cutting and styling Negro hair. So here he is, a young guy. You're trying to prevent that from happening. You want to prevent this. So what would you say to this young man? Because Cheryl noticed he is a mustache wearer. He does not like his beard. So how is a barber to cultivate a young man who's going to have a beard, but he doesn't like it, but he likes his mustache? How are you going to help him with his art Can he come to you? Can he be at home? Let's get down to the nitty gritty, as my daddy would say. Come on with the come on and get down with the get down.
Yeah, great question.
Well, I mean, the one-on-one approach is one thing, but the person has to be open to it, because a lot of people come to you and they think that they already know. Like, what you're doing is too simple for me to need an explanation. So if the mind is closed, they're not going to be open to anything you're saying. So they would have to have the curiosity first. If the person's curious and they want to know, then I would walk them through the basics that I understand about shaving. Like Cheryl was saying with Dr. Morrow, he would always talk about brushing and training the beard with the brush, because even the push to continue to move the fascia, to be able to increase the circulation in the face and to keep the blood flowing, because the blood, any kind of impurities, the blood is going to also kind of help to carry them out as best as it can as well. But brushing is going to help to move the hair so it's not getting stuck and going back into the skin. And you train it the same way you train the hair on the top of your head, is like what he used to say. But brushing it is one way. To me, the bigger underlying issue with something like that is that what I see is a person who don't have time for themselves. It's like they're separated from their body almost. Like you're putting yourself through pain and you can't even stop to say, I'm tearing my body up right now. Like you're doing it directly. You're not smoking a cigarette.
But I'm coming at it. I'm sorry for cutting you off. I'm coming at it like, I'm just going to be honest. I think at some point he went to a barber. I'm just going, this me personally, okay? This Kilolo. At some point he went to a barber. And, and I'm not saying, I'm trying to get the barber to help him out before he gets to that point. What could a barber say to this young man who does not want this beard? He wants that mustache.
He wants to be clean.
Shan is asking, Sherion Smith is asking, should he have been shaving daily? Should you shave daily? How are you helping a man who's dark? He's bound to have a full-grown beard, but he doesn't want it. He wants a clean-shaven look. And he's, you see something early on. How are you as a barber going to help this young man who's pretty destined to have a full beard? Can he not have it? Is his expectations too high? Or as Sherion Smith is asking, should he have been shaving that daily? Can a man shave daily?
I would tell him brush his face daily. And then I would tell him when he does shave, if he's going to shave, he needs to shave with a lighter hand. And not, because the other thing is guys beat their face up. So they'll smash a razor into their face. A lot of thing about the way men think a lot of time is if something's not happening fast enough, they just do it more aggressively and harder. And that don't work with a shave. You just tear your face up. So you have to, it's like trying to mow the lawn, and then you set the lawnmower at a certain level, but it's not cutting the way you want. So you jump on top of it and start grinding it into the ground. You just tear up the soil, and then the grass don't grow there the way it's supposed to. So I would tell him he has to be lighter handed. He has to prepare his face for a shave, because guys want to just jump in real fast and rush through processes. You got to start with steam, typically hot towel, in order to like activate your sweat glands and your oil glands, so that that's going to cause movement in your face, and it's going to coat your skin. And it's going to make it so that it softens your hair on your face, and it prepares your skin so that the actual razor has a barrier to go across, so you're not just scraping your face. Because when you're scraping your face, like Cheryl was saying, now you're scarring it. It can't do nothing but try to heal over that, because you're damaging it.
Wow.
So like you will probably want to start with some steam. You want to use a pre-shave oil. You want to use either a shave gel or a very rich lather that's going to cause enough moisture to your face so that when you're shaving it, and you also want to be mindful of the direction, because your hair grows, all your follicles in your face, they're like on top of your head, are set in different directions. So guys have this thing about shaving. Men be
doing it's. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but this is not something men should be doing at home. Basically, am I right, Cheryl?
They can. They just have to pay attention.
Yeah, let me just say this. He is not a blade candidate, and his barber should have known that. He's not a blade candidate.
Let me put his picture back up.
He has too much pigment. He's and this is indicative of darker skinned men. You have to know who can handle an actual sharp blade. But I will say, I think that he could have gotten away with a dry shave.
What does that mean? Help. You know, Kilolo, I don't know what that is. So
well, Danny, Mr. Morrow had thick curly hair and all that, but he dry shaved, which means that he would have me put he would just use a alkaline kind of he would clean his skin first, but then he would take the T-liner, because it would only take the hair right at the surface. And I think you're onto something, Danny. That dragging of that blade at that angle, just scraping his skin. And he should have just did a dry shave. Just clean his skin and get that T-liner and just go.
So his expectations were too high to be clean shaven. So I didn't know that. So that's
my dad was clean shaven, but he left a slight little tip at the surface because a T-liner, they cut. I mean, come on now, them T-liners will make you bleed.
I'm really dumb over here. Sorry, Danny. Danny, like, come on,
but,
Danny. I'm sorry, Danny.
But there's a wall, that gray T-liner, good old fashioned T-liner. And for men who are highly pigmented, like he is, right? You just clean them, and you don't need to use any alkaline. You don't need to use no acidic, alcoholic, anything on that. And just go ahead and dry and shave him. My dad he didn't have hair bumps. He didn't have anything.
Okay, so Cheryl is saying So Cheryl said you don't have to use a razor, man. You can use a T-liner. Danny answered the question. Yeah. Sharon said he was taught that once you start shaving, you have to do it every day. Is this true or is this false?
I disagree. Yeah, I think it's false. Like you gotta give your face time to breathe. You know, it's like I think one of the things with us is having become like a real like an industrialized people. We become such a part of society that we got away from like what nature is. Like your body's a product of nature. So like we have military, we have jobs, we have all of these people to tell us that we're supposed to do this, this, and that to our bodies because they created a actual structure that we're supposed to fit into. We're not looking at the body aside from society. Like if you just took an old man from the country, it wouldn't make sense for him to have to be clean shaven every day. And so like you would look at like your face, your skin, and your hair as an organism. So if you
I blame that on Dan Rather. All the media men have. I blame that on the media because all the men on the news anchors like Don Lemon and they're so you know what I'm saying? Sure, they're so clean shaven. So I think that a lot of men feel like clean shaven is just a professional.
But it's like Danny says, there is a degree. Black men do not get clean shaves like white men or like straight hair men. You just don't.
Let me drop the bomb on that because this is all new to me. I'm telling you, I'm learning something real new today. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop the bomb on that one.
Yeah,
because I didn't know.
Right. And then by the time that young man has been exposed to very acidic pHs that just cooked him. Just cooked his skin.
It's okay. So Shan said they use makeup, Kilolo. Okay.
No, that's every day.
Okay.
Maybe every day, but
they do. So Danny says you do not have to shave every day. You have to give that skin a break. Okay. 2 more before we get out of here, Danny. I know like, don't I gotta go to bed. 2 more. Hold on. Wait, don't leave me. Just 1 more, Danny. Here go. This one.
There's one around here somewhere. I'm bothering him. Somewhere around here. think he may have been messing with it already. It looks a little, I don't know, messed with. It was just a little, I don't know what this is.
I just don't, maybe that's why I'm single. I'm not doing that. Ladies, all my single ladies, I am not about to do that, okay? Cheryl, you go first. Danny in the chat. Are you guys going to be plucking? I can't do it. Go to the barber. Come on, brothers, cut this out. Cheryl, should your boo thing be plucking out your?
Of course.
Oh,
okay.
Who
else is gonna do it? He can't see it. All he knows is that he feels it. I mean, come on.
To the barber.
Come on now. That's just tag team. That's just tag team. Let me do it. Come on now. And she probably say, sit down. I got this. Because he'd do it for her if she couldn't get some. Come on now, Kilolo.
I ain't touching that. I'll pay for him to go see Habib and them. Go to see Danny. I'm not touching that. Danny,
well, that's what.
I'm all for the professional.
And a shaving clinic in one of his pictures. That was making the big bucks back then, boy.
Danny, should your smooth thing be plucking out your hairs like that, or what do you say?
She knows what she's doing. As long as she's not making the problem worse.
Well, if you my boo thing, I'm paying for you to go see Danny. I'm not touching that. All right, let's see what the chat say. The chat kind of shy tonight. All right, they said, "Ouch." I would. Okay, what's up, Ernisa? Oh wow, I ain't messing with that. I'm with you, Ernisa. Y'all better go on and see Danny and quit messing around. I'm your sweetie pie. I'm not your barber. And I'm just saying. All right. Excuse me. What doesn't get talked about as we wrap this up? And again, guys, we are into I forgot what episode this is, but this is the lost art of shaving and beard care. It's the interview right here. You see, we have the master barber himself out of Las Vegas, Nevada, Danny Michael. Now, I have a very dear friend. Her name is Sophie Latoy, and she has a beard, and she wears her beard well. Sometimes she has it off, but most of the time she has it. So I'm going to show you a video, and let's talk about women who have beards because it doesn't get talked about. And so I figured if anybody would know anything about this, it would be you. And so let's show a video of a woman who has a beard. And of course, we're going to talk about
the beard. They have a beard competition that's like global. They won it 2 years.
Okay. Well, here's the video about females with beards. Okay, here we go.
He's asked me if I'm a man or if I'm in transition. I am definitely a woman. You're just gonna have to accept the fact that I have a beard and I'm not gonna change it to satisfy you and anybody else.
All right. I don't know how to pronounce it because I have these braces in my mouth. And I didn't know there was a technical term. Cheryl, what's the technical term? I can't pronounce it. I didn't want to mess it up. Hirsutism? Hirsutism, okay. So this is women who have beard. So let's go for the pros. What's beard care for women? And then, of course, we're going to talk about how to get rid of those, those hairs that women don't like. Because I see women walking around with razors and, I'm just saying. Okay, so let's start.
What the problem is, I think that they attach hair growing to testosterone. And what estrogen does for men is actually keep the hair full on their head. But because it's not acceptable for women, they make it a condition or disorder. And it actually really isn't.
It's just normal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Danny, What do you have any beard care recommendations for women? Do the same rules apply? Or hey, this is the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel, and you are on planet Pluto Pseudo. Okay, nobody tell y'all how to take care of them female beards.
You sleeping on them dollars.
All right, so Danny, how should the ladies take care of their beards? And we're going to talk about how should they get rid of them beards and them mustaches.
Okay, so you say beard, you're talking about what we just saw, or you just mean a woman who's got a couple of hairs?
Yes,
and that's
gonna start
that person.
Well, first of all, Danny, we had aunties and grandmamas with them hairs on their chin. Come on now,
right?
I think
she's saying beard care.
Yeah, she doesn't want to cut her beard off. My girl Sophie,
was that person born female?
Ask me if I'm a man or if I'm in transition. I am definitely a woman. You're just gonna have to accept the fact that I have a beard and I'm not gonna change it to satisfy you and anybody else.
Come on,
so she is not.
Don't get in
she is a woman. Come on, chat, y'all wake up. They like, come on, Danny. Danny, like,
yeah, and I was trying to make sure I didn't miss something, but yeah, I mean, beard care. I was a little confused. I was confused, but I would say the beard care be the same because I mean it's a human being with hair on the face, so it's the same things that would go for a man. It's just hair on the face, you know what I'm saying? And I think again, the society. I feel like we done dropped so deep into society that we're not looking at nature.
Right.
If you look at two foxes, they got the same fur. You look at two bears, male and female, they got the same fur. But with us, because the females have a different kind of like aesthetic when it comes to fashion, and then the male has a different aesthetic when it comes to fashion, we start applying all this different. It got to be this for the female and that for the male. But if we talk about the same actual outgrowth, is not fur, but you know what I'm saying? If we were animals that had fur, it wouldn't be questionable. Like if you had a male Cocker Spaniel versus a female, which way do you take care of the coat or the fur? So it's like we got the same thing. So to me, if it's growing on the face of a female, she got the same thing I got. I mean, you know, beard wise, if that's her beard, that's her beard, and we just gonna take care of it the same way. But yeah, I wouldn't change anything for a female with a beard. You on mute, Ladosha.
Ladosha, you muted.
Hey, girl, how you doing?
Yeah. You ain't the bomb.
You love, don't you? Okay, drop the bomb for Danny. All right, there you go. My brother said drop the bomb for Danny. Sure, like Ladosha, you because she know Kilo. I'll be in my own little world. So Danny says it doesn't matter, male or female, the same rules apply. So I hope what you guys have learned so far is don't watch TV to learn how to do this. If your dad or your grandpa or your uncle or your mom is not able to help you, please go see a barber, okay? And let them help you. Please, please, please. You do not have to go at it alone. Now, what about women who just, you know, they don't like those, the hairs on their chinny chin and the little mustache, and should they razor them? Because I see women walk around with razors and they're literally cutting this off. Or they just take tweezers and they're just constantly snatching. So how should women be taken care when they have a superfluous? They don't have the hirsutism. I'm sorry, guys. Hirsutism.
Hirsutism. Yeah.
Hirsutism. Hirsutism. Okay. So Danny, how should women pluck the I don't know, shave? Should they be shaving like this first? That's the first thing.
I mean, me personally, like, you know, like Cheryl was talking about with Dr. Morrow, he would just use the outliners, the electric trimmers. I think that's enough, but a lot of times people's vanity won't let them have even a shadow of hair on the face. And so if they want to pluck them and cut them and use Nair and everything, I mean, they're free to use them. But I think just a regular pair of clippers or trimmers rather that's enough. You want to knock the hair off.
Wow. Okay, now you know what? I'll be honest. In the hair salon, the ladies will have some serious. I mean, let me just tell you. Or you be surprised how them Halle Berrys, I'm just saying, be really having some really hairs. And I'll take like I'm just gonna talk about myself, okay? Like my brother, he cuts my hair down, right? Like you can't see it, but I get like pork chops, Daddy, almost like you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And my brother, he just be and I be like, I know, man. I be he like, hold your head over.
You stupid.
I can't, my brother be like, you better hold your head over. And so he was shaving me all up. And I'd be wondering, like, is he gonna make me like a little, like, have a beard? But I'll be honest, it's actually, I've been so far cool, but I've been tempted to take a razor because he's got we're my brother and I, we're roommates, and I be wanting to go and get some of his stuff and just try to make it neat. But you're saying that's too vain. We're just being that would
I'm not saying it's, I'm not. It don't have to be vain, but it's not. Yeah, it's not ultimately necessary. I'm not saying that nobody should do it, but I'm just saying that if a woman is got 3 hairs on her face, I thought you was talking about like just a couple of hairs, then she could just knock it off with clippers. But I'm just saying that going back to the conversation about damaging the skin, if she's getting damaged, then she can just use some trimmers. But it's a preference thing. And I would say this. There's one thing I wanted to
go ahead.
One thing I wanted to say too is like with us, like I would like for us as a people to like get to the bottom of like what actually is hair and why do we have it? Because we got a thing of just wanting to just cut everything off, and we don't even know why we were giving it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't cut it off because I know a lot of people not really trying to have no beard out here. But I'm just saying as a thought, like what is this on my face for? Why is it here? And what is it doing? Like it has a scientific purpose.
Well, I never thought of it that way. I got you, but I could say this. Well, my aunt, she had this thing because we got these sides, like you can see, I got it right here, right? I got it. I had cut it off like up to here, right? And my aunt had this superstition, and she said if we cut our sideburns, that our hair would like fall out. So there's some Cheryl, just leave my family alone, okay? Leave my family alone.
but
all my family look like now. What's up, Kai? How you doing?
Come on now. Your family mine say that same craziness.
I know, but so ladies, you don't have to always resort. You can, but like he said, if you got the little fibers because my hairs, they really grow down into, for real, like into here. And they're gray, they're very pronounced. And my brother, he does use the trimmer, takes that off. But Kai says waxing would be good. So, Daddy, would you recommend waxing as well?
Yeah, for those who want it. Want it. I think everybody's got preferences. I'm not against anybody's preferences. You just, like you said, see a professional so you don't get messed up.
Ladies, I will say this. Have you seen those ladies that have those dark spots? You see those dark spots?
Mm-hmm.
I'm too vain for the dark spots. But let me say this. You keep rupturing and pulling that hair out of that follicle. You know what happens to when you pull it from here? All them years, you have no hair, and you're going to get those little dark circles. It's called scar tissue. And then once the immune system creates the injury, it will send the melanocytes there. It'll send all the wound healing, and it'll be dark circles right there. And you can tell people who pluck. I mean, and that's why I don't get no eyebrows plucked. You can't keep it, like Danny said. The follicle is for a reason. It's for a reason. So it's supposed to be there. Now, if you're shaping it and you want to remove it, I wouldn't rupture. Just yank it out, because what you're doing is that you're causing an injury. Now that
guilty.
I gotta the difference is is that the skin gets thinner here. You can't really grab it, but you can grab this. So when you keep yanking it, so you can kind of either tweeze these, but you may not get as much scar tissue here because the skin is different. The arrangement.
But then your hair don't grow back. Guilty. I have to draw my eyebrows on. People are like, are those your real eyebrows? No, because I did not. This is before cosmetology school, guys. I have bushy eyebrows, and I wish see, Daddy, you should have met me when I was younger. I would have had much better self-esteem, and nobody was talking about that. They was calling you like Brooke Shields, so you don't want to be a black girl called Brooke Shields and Caterpillar and what's his name, Ernie and Bert. And I kept tweezing and tweezing and tweezing, and now they won't grow back. So, Danny, could you please speak to us women again about our bushy eyebrows and our hairs? Because I was definitely like, girl, you got some. And of course, when you look back on the pictures, they were not that bushy. But I was teased all the time for having those big, thick, bushy eyebrows. And I would give anything to have them back. But I thought that was not feminine, I will admit. So can you speak to that again so that the women can feel comfortable? My brother said hairy women are sexy, but hairy women are often, you know, like black women don't shave their legs and all that kind of stuff, you know. So talk about that a little bit more as we wrap this up.
Well, one thing I would say is like, you know, just studying animals, for instance, right? The plumage and all of that they have, it conducts energy. So like you could shave all this hair off your body and you can walk into a room and you're supposed to meet somebody. They might not even pick up on the sensor that you're there because your energy's not kicking the way it's supposed to be. So a lot of what's became cosmetic. Like for instance, you can be somewhere, you can just feel somebody's presence in the midst of 100 people. And you don't even know why. You got to find each other. The hair, it helps to conduct energy, to send energy out and draw energy in. So I'm not saying to never cut anything, but if you cut it, just know that some things that you're doing for cosmetic purposes might actually be pushing people away that you're trying to attract, because you don't know what that person likes before you even meet them. And so the thing is, it's like, you know, with animals, they might smell their mate before they ever even see them. Or the bird might hear a certain sound from the other bird to let them know that's the one for me, or the certain hair, the certain color of the feathers. And so all of those things, we became part of the society that puts all these ideas on us, and we do stuff for fashion reasons. You got a scent that you give off and you put a perfume on top of it. The person the scent is information. I'm not saying you should go stinking, but I'm just saying that. Yeah. What'd you say?
Yeah, well, we do things for gender. You got a baby, they don't even know its name, and it's already in pink.
Danny, my brother, standing ovation. I'm gonna together for Danny. Come on, clap, 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 clap. Okay, I mean, now I'm gonna be honest. I ain't never heard that before. Okay, now I heard of the 9-ether hair, but you saying something totally different.
Well, the way he says it makes a lot more sense because everybody has an aura. And if your follicles are electromagnetic, it just makes so much more sense then. I like the way you explained it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is much better because 9-ether hair, that creeps me. It's so racist and it's just like, yucky. What you talking about? Stop that, yucky. That 9-ether hair. Come on now, dog. Stop it, yucky. Well, sure,
can I say one more thing to that?
Yeah, come on. Bring it.
Bring it, brother.
I've been looking at this series on Apple TV. The Don Cheadle did a series on Huey Newton. It's like a docu-series, not a document, but it's like a movie reenactment of Huey Newton's life. And so they showing all the sisters that was around the Black Panther Party. And I'm looking at these sisters in the show. I don't know whether they got wigs on or whether it's their natural hair, but these women who people would call average in terms of all it is, whether somebody's a diamond, all this kind of stuff. I'm watching the show. I'm gonna speak for myself personally, and I'm looking at these women articulate themselves as adults They're not trying to look like Barbies. They like, this what my hair is, this what it do. The only little thing that they did, they might have did some little thing with their eyebrows, this little, you know, lip covering, something, just little accessories. But they just, to me, it just looks so refreshing to see that. And to me, that looked way more attractive because they're not putting all of that energy into trying to look up, they're just trying to alter their appearance so much. And so it was like that same woman who people would probably sit and tease about her hair and, oh, you ain't got this on and why you dress like that. That her and that plainness and her having that kind of courage to stand up for her life and to talk about things that actually matter. To me, that was not big, but I'm just saying as a grown woman. And to me, there was an attraction that even though they're playing characters and these are women who probably gonna go off the movie set and go right back to however they look and however they act, that character, that type of caricature, I don't call it caricature, but that kind of personality and that kind of image to me was way more attractive. And it's been made to look like a joke. So now everybody runs from that. And that was like a certain kind of pinnacle of self-respect that Black people have for themselves that now it's just comedy. And I think that, you know, everybody's ashamed of grabbing a hold of that, but that's who we are. And it's way more attractive. And it probably would be much easier to find a man by just having some real values and not trying to assimilate to all of this other stuff because it doesn't work.
It's funny you would say that. Well, I shouldn't say funny, but very interesting. When Stacey Abrams was running for governor, they kind of talked about that. They felt that because she didn't have that, like she wasn't straightened out, and they felt that her hair, that she was looking, a little, unfemale or whatever. I don't know what to say, but Stacey Abrams was like, whatever cashmere sweater, this is who I am. And she was very comfortable. And as my brother has said, can you say Angela Davis? And I know that working in the hair salon, these conversations are so important, especially as we age. And that's why I really wanted you to say something to the women out there who don't have that feminine, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? Because beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, but it is also how you see yourself. And so, Cheryl, did you want to add to that as we wrap that up? Because that was very profound and very powerful.
It was wonderful to hear. But I do think that because we don't have the conversation often, we talk about the Afro as if it happened in a silo. It was a very long 25. It was a long decade where we were wearing it at law firms. We didn't leave our hair home. Yeah, we did Motown. Yeah, we had wigs, but we were like really into this Afro natural for a very long time. And I think it was the natural next step for what we, evolved into, which was technology and then thus the curl. But yeah, it was definitely a full garment. It was not just hair. It was a full garment.
And as we round up the lost art of shaving and beard care, we hope that what you all have concluded is that as professionals, all of it is a part, of your barber and your salon and your aesthetics experience. And like Danny said, you have a multitude of ways in which you can care for it. But if you don't have someone at home to give you some direction, please go visit your barber and get that consultation and let them help navigate you through that. And you don't have to be so in a rush, and take some time, make the time, for your skincare and your beard. Lower your expectations. Women, rock your beards and care for it. There's no difference whether you're male or female. And the art of it is to wear it and to care for it and understand. Danny said, what lies beneath is more important than what you see with the naked eye. So Danny, how can everybody find you? Because now I want you to cut my, get your teeth trimmers and cut my little hairs down. You know what I'm saying?
Give you some sideburns.
All right.
How can they call me though?
All right, so I'm gonna type in.
Me.
Go ahead. I'm gonna type that in. Go ahead. Where can they find you
Find
at?
me on Instagram at Danny Michael Barbering, DANNY MICHAEL BARBERING. I'm also on, what is that? LinkedIn as Danny Michael. I'm on Facebook as Barber Danny Michael. But Instagram is the easiest way. That's probably the quickest. But it's all one word.
No, the easiest way is for y'all to get in a car and go to the Wyndham Hotel.
Oh, the Wyndham Hotel is where he is at. And let me tell you,
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah, Las Vegas, Nevada. His Instagram is definitely a treat. I troll it all the time. I'm always on there. It's just to look at him and to watch what he does and the level of respect. I just love, like I said, the word I could pick for him as a barber, it truly would be Sankofa. Am I right, Cheryl? Would you say Sankofa?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I just appreciate you, brother. We just met one time and we just kept in touch, and it's good to share this podcast with you.
All right. And WK says, thank you so much, Danny. This was actually very, very informative. As always, it's never what I think it's going to be. I've learned so much. And Danny, we hope to have you back again. As a matter of fact, we might just need to make you our resident Afro hair science barber.
That's right.
Because I like your flow. I like your mojo. You really got it going on. And so we're going to be back next week. Remember, guys, in case you did not know, maybe this is your first time joining us. June is all about the month of men and African-American men in excellence when it comes to hair and all that good stuff. So we started off with Mr. Kenyatta Griggs, followed by Tondo Kefele with locks, the king of lock. Theo Garfield blessed us with his presence last week, and he talked in detail about, being a black man in a female-dominated industry. And then today we had this evening, Danny Michael, the Master Barber out of Las Vegas, Nevada. And so Hosea Hicks is going to close us out. And of course, next month is going to be all about sisterhood. And so we appreciate you guys so very, very much. And again, Danny is at, I put the wrong, Cheryl, crack me upside my head. There he is. Danny Michael Barbering on Instagram. I had the wrong thing trolling, okay? Scrolling, all right? So Cheryl, you want to, Danny, you want to close us out or something? You want people to know anything you got going on where they can, best time or a phone number or anything like that? Or where's the Wyndham located, something of that nature?
So it's the Wynn, WYNN. Wynn, Las Vegas. It's on the Vegas Strip.
Oh, it's on the Vegas Strip. Come on, high rollers. Come on out there. WYNN. Okay, check him out in Las Vegas. Now, don't go walking in, right, Danny?
Right. You can call me up 404-516-7685. We can set something up.
All right, we're going to drop that number in the chat. All of his information. Cheryl's going to make sure that I get it. Please call and schedule your appointment, ladies. He does see ladies. Y'all know when I go to Vegas, I'm going to make sure my undercut is good and bushy. And I'm going to make sure, I'm going to be all live. Like, look who I'm with, y'all. So I'm going to definitely make it my business to get there. Cheryl, close us out on the lost art of shaving and beard care in the spirit of your wonderful dad, just the loving, intelligent, beautiful Dr. Willie Morrow. Help us out.
Okay, so we're going to take a turn because from barbering and beauty, you go to all types of beauty, business enterprise, right? And all of that, he created and wanted to do big business, creating an economy for Black people in San Diego. So he began a radio station, a journey of a radio station that was already in Mexico, called 92.5 XHRM. And I wanted to just let you guys know that this is the 45th anniversary of Black Music Month. And no salon, no barbershop is nothing but that jukebox without that music. Black music have made people billions. And so I also wanted to just say 45 years ago, 92.5 started in San Diego as well. But let me just say this. R&B straight up hit was 45 years ago. Name it. One R&B classic.
R&B classic 45 years ago?
45 years ago.
I would say Stevie Wonder. Songs in the Key of Life.
So if y'all go look it up, 45 number one hits, 1979, 45 years ago.
Hold on. Wait, Shan, don't do it, Shan. Wait a minute. Don't you do it, Shan. 45 years ago. Oh, hold on.
Because we got to, because next time we got to play a couple of them so we can give homage to Black Music Month. We had number one. Oh, man, it was June. 1979. That was a bad year. 1979, Black Music Month. Number one. Oh, no. Ain't no stopping the sound, McFadden and Whitehead.
Oh, okay, because it's not
years ago.
Okay, what's the number one R&B song? It's Rock With You and Upside Down You Turn Me by Michael Jackson and Diana Ross. So Upside Down and Michael Jackson.
My Bell.
Ring My Bell. Okay. Cheryl
and what
says
was the wait, well, what's the number one? Come on.
That was it. It says Michael Jackson.
No,
that is.
No. That string of them. Now, 1979, 45 years ago, hit it, Key Lolo. Rapper's Delight. Give us a line.
Hip hop, a hip it to the hip, a hip the hop. You don't stop, rock it to the bang bang boogie, up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie the beat.
Hey,
now what? All right, okay. I did not know that. Yep. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We got 1 week. We'll cut with now. We can't play the music because they'll flag us, Cheryl. So we'll try to find a way to play it. All right, we'll do it through TikTok because then they won't flag us. Danny, we thank you so much. You definitely have to come back, and we'll do some type of a barber, tip by Danny of the month or something for the season or something, because we love your energy. We got great feedback. You kept these people on for 2 hours, so brother, you've got to be good. That typically does not happen. So thank you so very much. And you guys, you know what we say when we're always signing out, right? Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. And we'll be back next week on Planet Pluto Pseudo with Hosea Hicks, talking about why women always want to go to men and let them do their hair. All right, guys, have a wonderful night. Thank you, Danny. You're the bomb.com.
Thank you.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb.